History with Magnus. What really happened? At 8 in the morning on April 5, 2004, the money counting central in Stavanger, Norway was robbed in the biggest money heist in Norwegian history. The robbers were equipped with bulletproof vests, helmets, covered faces, gloves and overalls, and were heavily armed with automatic weapons. 7 robbers entered the counting center. At the same time, several of the robbers kept watch outside at Domkirkeplassen. A series of shots were fired at police and at police cars. Chief of Police, Arne Sigve Klungland, was shot and killed. The perpetrators got away with 57.4 million Norwegian kroner, about $6 million, even though there was at least 10 times more money there that the robbers didn't get their hands on, but it is still the biggest robbery in Norwegian history. So, what really happened? Hi and welcome to my channel. If you like this presentation, please like, subscribe and share this video. There had been several major robberies against money counting centers in the time before the Nokas robbery. Several of the participants in the Nokas robbery had also been involved in previous robberies, and several had a criminal career with long rap sheets. David Toska, who was considered the main man behind the robbery, had been connected to the Tweeda gang already in the 1980s, and he knew several of the other far back. The police nicknamed him the mastermind. They also suspected Kjell Alrik Schumann to be a part of it. He was nicknamed the Shadow by the police because he was very good at disguising himself and was rarely seen by the police, even though he was a seasoned criminal. The Post Office Center Robbery. A total of 8 people took part in the robbery against Norway's Post Office Center in Oslo on October 27, 2003. The robbers took 2 hostages and forced them to show them the way to the 4th floor, where the security post was located. A security guard was able to notify the police, and an exchange of gunfire ensued when the robbers left the building. The robbers disappeared in 2 waiting cars. The robbers only got around 120,000 Norwegian kroner, because the money transport they were targeting was delayed and hadn't arrived yet. After this failed attempt, the police knew that it wouldn't take long before a new robbery would occur. In November 2003, David Toska rented a house in Sandnes, a short distance from Stavanger. He also had an apartment in Stavanger. Kjell Alrik Schumann rented a basement apartment in Hungvag, also a short distance from Stavanger. The apartment in Stavanger was used as a cover apartment before and after the robbery. In the late winter of 2004, the robbers test drove the escape route from Stavanger city center to Stormarka. Parts of it they had to walk, because it went along pedestrian walkways and bicycle paths. They did not want to attract attention by driving there, but checked that it was possible to use the roads. The police knew that there was a danger of a robbery in Stavanger, and that Nokas could be the target. They had observed a car belonging to Schumann in the Stavanger area, so he was in the spotlight. The robbers stole cars in eastern Norway, including 2 Ford Expeditions that were stolen in Hamar, not far from where Schumann lived. It was also noticed that several people connected to the robbery environment had gone underground, and there were also some observations in the Stavanger area. Guards had also noticed possible reconnaissance of Nokas premises and a money transport. April 5, 2004. At 3:30 a.m., 8 robbers get picked up at the house and driven to a forest near Stavanger. The van then returned and picked up the remaining robbers as well as mattresses, clothes, and other equipment that were to be soaked with flammable liquid and ignited in the truck that was to block the exit from the police station. Toska has a pep talk for the others, saying, In and out in no more than 8 minutes, the glass will break as easy as a cracker. This is the robber's first mistake. At 6:55, Kjell Ulrik Schumann and Ridvan Halimi is observed at Domkirkeplassen. At 7:40, all 11 robbers are gathered on the other side of the street in front of the surveillance camera on Lagerdsveien. They are dressed and armed for the robbery. At 8 o'clock, Johnny Thendrup drives the white truck down the driveway to Stavanger police station and sets it on fire. He also throws several containers of tear gas in front of the main entrance to the police station, believing that the entire truck will burn. But he drops his drinking can that rolls under the car, and it has his DNA on it. This is the robber's second mistake. At 8:01, a Range Rover parks outside the counting center and drops off the robbers. The robbers, dressed in dark overalls, gas masks and helmets, try to enter the Nokas room from the backyard and break the window with a sledgehammer and a battering ram. But the special glass does not yield, it doesn't break like a cracker. At 8:03, David Toske shoots at the special glass. The alarm is triggered at the same time. The people working at the counting central now become aware of what is happening. They quickly push huge chunks of money into the vaults and lock the door. This is crucial because this denies the robbers access to much of the hundreds of millions which are stored there. Several of the robbers want to abandon the robbery and the window doesn't break and flee, but they keep on trying and Schumann now shoots several magazines full of bullets at the window. With the battering ram, they loosen the window. The robbers are now able to push the glass in. They have now wasted 4 crucial minutes. At 8:05, Johnny Thendrup sets fire to the white truck outside the police station, but loses his soda can that rolls under the car. He gets in the car with Halimi and drives towards Domkirkeplassen. At 8:08, police officers Erik Halland and Stefan the Sen arrive at the Cathedral Square. They stop at Kirkegata on the corner of the Hennes and Moritz store. Inside the counting center, 7 robbers begin packing the cash in dark bags. But when they reach the vault where most of the money is, it's locked. They try breaking the door down with the battering ram, but there is no chance the door will break. They must frustrated look at all the money they were so close to getting. They fill up bags with money, but most of the bills has a small value. Most of the 1,500 bills they wanted are beyond their reach. They hope to carry out at least 500 million Norwegian kroner, and before the robbery, they were dreaming of maybe carrying out as much as 1 billion Norwegian kroner. The robbery instead amounted to 57.4 million Norwegian kroner. A tenth of what they expected to get. At 8:14, even though there are many civilians present, not aware of what is happening, the police officers are given the green light to shoot at the robbers. This is odd, because Norwegian police at the time had clear instructions that they were to withdraw further back, if civilians could be hit in a shootout with the criminals. A heavy exchange of fire between the police and the robbers now start. The 2 policemen fires 20 shots in total and the robbers fire at least 2 or 3 times as many shots back. Erik Halland fires a total of 17 shots into the crowd. His colleague fired 3 shots. But miraculously, no civilians were physically injured. Halland were investigated by Internal Affairs, but was never charged with any wrongdoing. Johnny Thendrup is now shot in the right thigh by Halland. At 8:17, Kjell Ulrik Schumann now shoots with his automatic rifle at the police command car outside Maritime Hotel in Kongsgata. In the command car is Police Chief Arne Sigve Klungland. Klungland backs up the car, but has to stop when buses blocks his way. Klungland is hit in the head by one of the shots and dies a short time after. At 8:19, the robbers now leave Domkirkeplassen in a hurry. The robbery was supposed to take no more than 8 minutes. Instead, it had taken a total of 18 minutes, more than double the time they had planned. At 8:25, the cars stop near the parking lot at Sormarka. Halimi realizes he has been scratched on the head by a bullet. They set fire to the 3 cars at the parking lot. The robbers move into waiting cars and disappear. The robbers had made several mistakes during the planning, but also during the robbery, but the biggest mistake was killing a police officer. The police would throw everything they had at this, and it did become the most expensive investigation in Norwegian history, costing more than 5 times the amount of what the robbers got from the robbery. The heat soon became so heavy that Tosca paid several people to steal the famous Edvard Munch painting, The Scream, to force the police to divert some of their resources to a different investigation. But it didn't take long before the net was tightening around the robbers. On Wednesday, April 7th, 3 Swedish men were arrested for the robbery in Gothenburg, Sweden. All were of Albanian origin, and at least one was affiliated with the so-called Albanian gang in Sweden. In addition, a 4th Swedish person, 23-year-old Josef Hani, was wanted for the robbery. He was stopped for speeding at Jensvoll, close to Stavanger, the night before the robbery, and given a ticket for speeding. The other participants in the robbery were soon also arrested. On September 29th, several bags with what were weapons and some robbery equipment were found in the Drammen Fjord. A 56-year-old man was arrested and charged with countering the investigation by assisting the robbers. The man owned a boat that was located at the place where the guns and equipment was found. In a relatively short time, it became clear that the police had several sources of DNA. Among other things, the clothes that had been placed in the burning car, where the fire had not destroyed all traces, and the police found DNA. But also the waterproof bag with weapons that was found in the ocean, had DNA traces. Erling Havne was identified with a DNA sample from his brother, the former boxing champion Magne Havne, who had drowned in 2004. This sample was obtained without permission, which the police were criticized for. The police also had suspicions that Schumann had been involved. By going in heavily among people from the robbery community and the outer edges of this, they got some useful information in the hunt for David Tosca and Schumann. Tosca was arrested by Spanish police on April 5, 2005. He confessed to having planned and carried out the robbery, but denied that he had fired the shot that killed Klungland. During the trial, it was revealed that Schumann was the one that fired the deadly shot that day. But all the involved in the robbery was also convicted of being accessories to the murder. The sentences were between 9 and 18 years, 9 years for the one that had cooperated with the police. Some of the robbers had been convicted so many times of serious crimes that they got a custodial sentence. Meaning that they could be held there for life, if it is considered that they would continue their crimes if they got out. There were probably also people involved that was never caught. An indication of this was that soon after he was released from prison, Metkal Bitu was caught again, this time planning to kill a man nicknamed Scrooge McDuck, with the help of Bandidos member Lars Harns. Scrooge had probably handled some of the money after the robbery, and it seems like he didn't want to give the money back when Bitu got out of prison. The police had followed Bitu's every move after he was released. And even though he had tried to be as careful as possible, using middlemen and other tricks, he was caught. Lars Harns was arrested in Scrooge's garage, with a loaded gun and a ski mask. But, incredibly enough, he was believed by the court when he stated that he was only there to scare Scrooge, not to kill him. Bitu now serves a custodial sentence. There were very few bank or counting central robberies after that, because almost all of the men doing this were now behind bars. The police stated that, "We have broken the back of the robbery community in Norway." Of the 57.4 million that was robbed, less than 6 million were recovered. So, what do you think was the robbers' biggest mistake? Please leave a comment and let me know. And if you like this presentation, please like, subscribe and share this video. I also have a Facebook group, the link to that is in the description. And I hope to see you in the next presentation.